Okay, this is game 3 of my match against RecycleGarbage. I'm down 2-0. Triumphal Arch is interesting. It's not clear to me which card you're getting a whole bunch of sanctuaries or something. Actions are a little bit limited. You do have Acting Troop, which is going to be nice, but it's a little bit tough to chain a whole bunch of actions in a turn. So certainly you're going to open with Remake and try to get mostly thin. Probably I'm also going to go for Caravan Guard as my pair with it. I'm not super excited about hitting 5. I want to try to maintain a marginal level of thinness. And then pick up some Acting Troops. And, one can think about getting a Talisman to pick up lots of Caravan Guards, but they're just not worth that much to you after you've gotten thin. They're just like half of a peddler. And since you have the other action, I guess you want a bunch of his embassies, maybe? A couple of Acting Troops just so that you're drawing. I can also consider getting Smugglers. Your opponent's going to be usually getting nice cards, so Smugglers seems pretty nice. But I don't want to do that until I've got an Acting Troop down. I'm going to go for the Caravan Guard here, as I'd rather be action dense at this point. And I think I want to remake into... Acting Troop. So they find an estate. Yeah, they find 2 estates, so they're going to be a little bit ahead as of this first shuffle. More so a little bit ahead than even just from the silver opening and being able to get a Sanctuary. I'm not like... The Sanctuary's not doing that much because Remake is so effective at thinning, I think, but we'll see. Yeah, so I'm going to get 1 Acting Troop myself and get a Courtyard. The Courtyard's nice because you can always top deck if you draw an action dead. They also got 1 Caravan Guard, so again, I'm not quite sure what the second pile of actions that you're going through for is. Sanctuary, maybe, but you don't really need more than 1 of those in this deck. You can get pretty thin pretty quickly. You probably do need a couple of golds for payload. Play that, play this. Oh, this is quite nice. I've got 5. Do I actually want the Sanctuary already, or do I want to go for the Embassy draw? I'm going to go for Embassy already. I've got the Acting Troop for the actions, and that should cycle me through a lot faster. My Remake's going to miss the shuffle, which is okay because I've got the Embassy down there. They're going to be able to start exiling stuff. They've also only played their Remake once. Okay, they're playing it twice now, and theirs doesn't miss the shuffle, which is slightly nicer for them. And they got to trash their last estate. Acting Troop, that'll go to a second Acting Troop. I think I do need the second Acting Troop already. And I will get a Courtyard, and probably that Courtyard will end up getting trashed into a Acting Troop itself. Once the they didn't even get to exile anything the first time they played that. Oh, they exiled copper. Okay, they're exiling 2 coppers, so that's nice. Yeah, they've been able to get thinner. Some of that is a function of the fact that they aligned estates instead of coppers the first couple times they played their Remake. Oh, and they got the Scholar that they bought. When did they buy a Scholar? Turn 5, okay. So yeah, that'll be a nice card. I think maybe Scholar is just strictly better than Embassy here. It's not obvious to me. Maybe the decks are small enough that Scholar is basically drawing your deck and you're kind of playing like a golden deck type thing. The second remake does seem nice. I see the value to it because you can remake into 5 costs. I don't know how many of those 5 costs you want, to be honest, but certainly you're happy to get a couple of them. Yeah, they got the Smugglers now, which I like. I don't, unfortunately, have a way to play this Courtyard without triggering a pretty bad shuffle. Well, I've got a Caravan Guard down there. I can play the Courtyard, top deck that, smuggle a Scholar of my own, smuggle a remake. I'm pretty stinking thin right now. Just grab 2 more acting troops. I'm gonna grab a Scholar and another acting troop. I'm kind of ran down my coffers there, or not my coffers, my villagers there, but I can also always remake, if I decide the embassy's no good, remake it into a gold or something, as I will need like a gold in the deck. This is unfortunate for them. They had a bit of a dud turn here. Oh, never mind. They had a Scholar in hand. Scholar remake actually functions pretty nicely together. I hadn't really thought about that interaction, but you remake down to very few cards, and then Scholar can draw them all back up again. Felt like I meandered a little bit at the front of this game. They did have a better draw after their first shuffle than I did, but I think they may have had a better plan here. The remake stuff, I can see getting 2 remakes. I'm kind of confused beyond that, unless they're just going for the Triumphal Arch points. Because at some point you actually have to stop and score, and the remakes don't really help you do that. We're also blowing through these villagers with the acting troops, so there's like is a real question of how does the game proceed after we've both expended all of our villagers. You kind of want to remake all of your terminal actions into sanctuaries and gold or 2, and then just try to have a golden province deck, I guess. I mean, it's turn 8, so certainly we're getting there faster than the naive solution. All right, so lead on embassy. I do want to thin at least 1 copper here. I do want to play a smugglers. Probably thin this courtyard as well. So, troop, smuggle a troop, remake courtyard into troop, pressure copper, draw it all back up. Is a villager worth it for a sanctuary now? I think it is. So I need to be remaking next turn something into gold. Probably remake my embassy into gold next turn. They're going to be really short on actions soon. They can get this last acting troop. Or do they have two in hand? Two in their deck already from last turn? They may have two in their deck. Yeah, so they can get this third acting troop, and then they'll have 12 villagers for the remainder of the game. One assumes that that's what they're going to do. And then we just try to get to a point here where we remake things into golds and start buying provinces as soon as possible. I'm not really worried about the Triumphal Arch points. Let's see what they do. Remake into, I assume, Sanctuary? Unless they're already going for duchies, but that seems a little bit early. The Scholar. I'm not seeing the point of the multiple Scholars, to be honest. It gives them like a slight amount of Triumphal Arch points, but it the villager effect is the thing that I'm worried about here. So yeah, there's one more acting troop available, and they can play one, so they've got, up to 7. So yeah, they're gonna have, 4 villagers now for the rest of the game. That's all 10, right? Yeah. So now the game changes pretty significantly in terms of how it can be played. Yeah, I'll definitely grab some caravan guards here, though. Will I? What am I getting Triumphal Arch points from? Nothing? Yeah, I'm not getting Triumphal Arch points from just about anything, so I'm not quite sure. Courtyards, maybe. Which I'd like to remake into something. Smugglers up to 6, so they are going to be able to gain golds. It's actually suit. They gained a Caravan Guard, they gained a Scholar, so those are the cards that I can gain. Let's leave in the Sanctuary, see if I find something good. I don't think I need this copper anymore. Caravan Guard. So yeah, I can smuggle a Caravan Guard. Play this. Okay. So I can remake Embassy into gold. Courtyard into smugglers. And now I have 6. And 4 villagers still. So how close am I to golden deck? I have 3 stop cards. Remake Scholars. Smugglers is 6 stop cards. I need to gain a gold next turn, so in theory I need to remake a 5 cost into gold, or I can smuggle a gold. That seems fine. So I think I'm going to buy a Sanctuary here. It's worth 3 VP. Try to smuggle a gold next turn. Finish thinning and start provincing next turn. I don't really want to. I'm slightly concerned about the smuggler, them having an advantage on smugglers, but I don't see much I can do about that. So I'm also going to have a bunch of money coming in next turn from the Caravan Guards I should consider as well. So they're going to be able to smuggle, I guess, Sanctuaries and Caravan Guards and stuff, which is fine. I'm going to be able to smuggle a Sanctuary back. I assume they're going to remake now into gold as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they're actually blowing up their own points there a little bit. I've got 3 money coming in. So depending on what I draw with this Sanctuary, two Caravan cards, okay? Okay. So what am I going to do? I can smuggle a Sanctuary. This is tricky. They feel like my deck is in an okay spot here. So I can smuggle a Sanctuary, buy Sanctuary, Caravan Guard. My Caravan Guards are slightly a tilt. That seems fine. What do they have left in their deck? They can remake stuff into duchies, which is not for nothing. Well, they have 1/4 cost. They can remake our remake into a duchy. Then I can potentially smuggle that. The last card of my deck is Copper. So what's my winning path here? I do want to not like completely lose out on the Triumphal Arch points, but maybe that's fine. So that would be smuggle a gold, remake Scholar Copper. Yeah, remaking the Scholar doesn't make much sense right now. So if I gain Scholar Sanctuary, that gives me, I continue to gain Sanctuaries, and then next turn start provincing. Or I can start provincing this turn, smuggle Caravan Guard, play remake as Monkey, and then start provincing. And that deactivates their smugglers for a turn. And I can reconsider after that. What I mean by deactivate is their smuggler has no target this turn. Now they can remake smugglers into remakes and then remake remakes into duchies, but that's a little bit slow. I'm kind of putting the pressure on them now that they do need to start provincing themselves, because you can't really build more than 1 province per turn on this kingdom. I suppose you could with enough villages, but with only 3 villagers left, I don't think they can do that. The other thing with the remake tricks is, yeah, they probably can't do them that often and play the smugglers and stuff, so they have to be a little bit careful on how they play that. With the 2 smugglers and villagers, if they gain a duchy, I could smuggle a duchy, and then they can gain a duchy, 2 duchies, potentially with smugglers, but they can only do that a couple of times total. We'll see if they're already into that now. They just remade Scholar into gold. Okay, so they're looking for more payload. Every villager they spend, I feel pretty good about. I think at this point, I'm only using villagers to make sure that I get a province in a turn. And I don't have many Caravan Guards coming into play, so it's going to be a little bit more tough for me to do that this turn than it was last turn. I may actually need to smuggle my own gold or remake Scholar to gold here. Although I probably am going to need to draw with Scholar, so that may not work. So they do have 3 golds in hand? But they're down to 1 villager. So their tricks are going to run out, soon. Province and something. Talisman. Okay. All right, lead on Caravan Guards. I guess I'm drawing with Scholar, Sanctuary. Smuggle a gold, draw. Okay, I kind of like desperately need to remake these coppers. Again, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 dead cards. If I remake the coppers, I cannot buy a province here. I have 4 money coming in next turn. Okay, so I just buy a province and feel bad about my position. I don't like them gaining extra golds. That seems greedy. Okay, well I can actually Sanctuary. Can I Sanctuary the remake? Is that too greedy? I can certainly Sanctuary a copper, right? I don't really have things I can remake anymore, right? There's nothing in my deck. All the remake is a terminal copper. I'm out of things that I can productively remake into things, which is a little bit sad. Let's get a province here. And again, my stupid Caravan Guards are all misaligned, but I think this is fine. If at some point they start getting duchies or something other than province, I can start doing things. The Talisman potentially gives them pressure on like the courtyard pile, but I'm ahead every turn. Do they have a bunch of extra courtyards? They have 1 courtyard, so they could potentially get some full arch points, but they'd have to empty the whole pile, and I still don't think that would be enough. Maybe it would. What's the math there? They have 3 sanctuaries and 5 caravan guards, so by emptying the courtyards, that gets them a net 6 trample arch points. They're also out now of villagers, so if they don't win this turn, which I don't think they can, then it is very, very tough for them to win next turn. Is their Talisman even the bottom card? No, okay. Oh my, I miscounted something. What did I miscount? Oh, okay. I only had 2 sanctuaries. They only had 2 sanctuaries. Okay, they trashed the sanctuary at some point. Okay, well, that was a nice spot from them. So good game for RecycleGarbage.